Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Zucchini chips. That's about a 1.5 zucchinis, dehydrated. Wonderful. So delicious. Hi guys, welcome to the Poly Nation. I did a video about my squash here, straight-necked squash. It's a big one, I know, but I saved it for seeds. And I want to know if I could get it to, it was left out in the snow, and I just want to see if I could get it to germinate. And of course it did. Of course it's going to germinate. That's what nature does. And it was one of these. Straight neck squash. Well, I have a volunteer plant right here, and this was F1 hybrid. Straight neck squash, yellow squash. This here is a regular zucchini. F1 hybrid zucchini. So what popped up with one of my seeds that I germinated was a voluntary plant from one of the seeds that fell. Well, that is what I got from it. A nice little mix of yellow squash and a green zucchini. I call it straight neck Squashini. Stick with me here. So what we're dealing with here is F2 hybrid generation. Now you never really know what you're going to get. So on F1 or F2, it depends, because you have what's called strong gene and a recessive gene. They call that what is it? A recessive trait and a strong trait. For like, I forget the term. But you know what? Just get the book. I break it down in the book. Law of domination and the law of recession. So, and I go over that pretty good in this book on F1, F2, F3, F4. What is all that stuff? So this is what popped up, and you can see in the video, one of the other videos, that I have a nice little mix of both. And that's just, and people do this. People sell them. And wonderful soft skin, and it tastes just like you would imagine, like a zucchini or a squash. If you were to do a blind taste test, maybe you wouldn't even be able to tell what it was, a squash or a zucchini or a squashini. But anyway, this is what popped up, and you really never know what you're gonna get. You might get 3 different types of squash. You may get more than that. You might get the recessive gene, or you might get the dominant gene, or you might get a good combination of both, and that's what we got. Sometimes you might get a striped yellow and green, or you might get a green, yellow, green, or who knows. It just depends on what you get, and this is what I got. So that's F1, F2, and F3s, and if you like it, then keep breeding it. But I could grow this. I could save the seeds from this, plant it. I could germinate it, and I don't know what I'm going to get next year. But I generally don't like to do that, because I like to know a good outcome. I know what I'm going to get, so which is why I like to stick with heirloom, or else you're really always dependent on the F1s. But you know, there's nothing wrong with the F1s. It's just, and if that's something that you really need to grow as an F1, and I grow them all the time, then grow the F1s, but you got to know that they're good for your area. So sometimes it's a bit of trial and error for that part. But I cover that in this book, my new book, Brown Thumb, Green Thumb. And I think I'm being watched. Brown Thumb, Green Thumb. Check it out, and I go over it in a good amount of detail. I'm being watched. Isn't that pretty? Way up there. but that's not what this video is about. So anyway, just a quick video on that. A lot of people like to grow F2s and F3s and start their own breed or their own species, and I say test it and see what you get. But just always remember, you can have at least 3 different outcomes. You could 50-50 of both, or you could have a recessive gene or a dominant gene, so it's up to you. But anyway, that's the video, and I'll see you next video. Oh hey, glad you stuck around. I'd like to show you something real quick. Okay, guys, another thing I want to mention about this Squashini plant is right here on the stem. You see how long that is compared to a straight neck squash, yellow squash, or a zucchini? It is a very long stem, and that's not even all of it. I cut probably, I left that much, probably about an inch, but I wanted to have plenty of room to cut and not get into this stem of a leaf. But this is still very delicate skin, and it'll, I mean, 2 of these will feed a good family. Another thing I want to point out is, look how long this plant is. This is one plant, and I put a tape measure on here, and from where it's coming out, where the root, where the stalk starts, and right out here to where the fruit, it's still bearing fruit and still growing, we're at 5 feet. And it's growing right out to where this grass is. So it's just sitting on the grass and growing. It's getting direct sunlight during most of the day, and then going behind my greenhouse and still getting some light. So that could be a factor. Maybe it doesn't want direct sunlight for 12 hours, or who knows, maybe it does want it. I don't know. I've never grown this type of hybrid before. Now this is a hybrid. Probably happened during a cross-pollination of a squash and zucchini, which was already, they were hybrids, F1s, and this is my, what is F2 now? But if you ever want to do this, I encourage you to do it, because squash, zucchini, squashini, blind taste test, you won't tell the difference. Look at all the flowers. So much flowering, so much fruiting. This thing is, and I got a late start this year, but this thing, it's not even done. And it's just fruiting like I've not had squash or zucchini fruit before. And we've got flowers all over the place. And I mean, this camera just doesn't do it justice. And I'm over here on the other side. We've got 3 or 4 fruits already on this one, and 2 buds getting ready to flower. So, and the leaves are huge. The leaves are extremely huge. And I don't water it very much at all. And I do compost tea every now and then. But take a look at this part right here. We have the root. If I can get the camera over here. The root is coming out. Where is it? Right there. It's hard to see, but the root is coming out right there. And we have a section right here that's right here that's vining out and just coming this way and bearing more fruit, flowers. And I mean, that's really what this thing is. See the little fruit right over here? And I'm completely on the other side of the plant. I mean, there's not a section to this plant that's not flowering, that's not fruiting. It's just all flowering and fruiting and producing more leaves and just growing out like a vine. And that's pretty much what it is. It's from the, what do you call it? It's the cucumber family, which is the cucurbit family, I believe. So if you guys want to do this, put your squash, yellow straight neck squash, or just zucchini, put them together, let them cross pollinate. What I did was I took this squash, yellow straight neck squash, and I planted the seeds, and this is what I got. Now, I'm not guaranteeing you that's what you're going to get, because you've got the law of domination and the law of recession, and you just don't know what you're going to get. But do it and see what you get. I guarantee you're still going to grow a great plant, and it's going to give you a good harvest as long as you have a good growing season and you do everything properly. So I just wanted to share that little bit with you. All right, it's the Pollination. I'm out.